Climate change refers to the long-term changes in Earth's average temperature, precipitation, and wind patterns that occur as a result of human activities, such as burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and agriculture, and natural factors, such as changes in solar radiation and volcanic activity. These activities cause an increase in the amount of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, in the atmosphere, which trap heat and cause the planet to warm up. This warming is causing melting of polar ice caps, rising sea levels, and changes in weather patterns, which can lead to more frequent and intense extreme weather events, droughts, and food and water shortages. There has been a significant amount of research conducted on the topic of climate change in recent years. Scientists from various fields, including atmospheric science, oceanography, and ecology, have been working to understand the causes, impacts, and potential solutions to this global issue. One area of research has focused on measuring and understanding the increase of atmospheric concentrations of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, which are driving the warming of the planet. Researchers have used a combination of observational data from satellites and ground-based instruments, as well as computer simulations, to study the changes in the Earth's climate system. Another area of research has been focused on the impacts of climate change on various aspects of the natural environment and human society, including sea level rise, changes in precipitation patterns, and the spread of disease. There have been numerous studies examining the consequences of warming for wildlife, ecosystems, and agriculture, as well as its potential effects on human health and economic systems. There is also ongoing research on ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of climate change. This includes studies on renewable energy technologies, such as solar and wind power, as well as efforts to improve energy efficiency and reduce waste. There is also research on carbon capture and storage, which aims to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and store it in a secure location, and reforestation, which can help absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Overall, the scientific community is working tirelessly to better understand and address the challenges posed by climate change. Climate change has a range of impacts on both the natural environment and human society. Some of the most significant impacts include rising sea levels. As the polar ice caps melt and glaciers retreat, sea levels are rising, threatening coastal cities and communities. Changes in weather patterns. Climate change is causing more frequent and intense heat waves, droughts, and hurricanes, which can lead to devastating wildfires, crop failures, and damage to infrastructure. Ocean acidification. The oceans absorb large amounts of carbon dioxide, leading to a decrease in pH, a process known as ocean acidification. This can harm marine ecosystems and reduce the ability of shellfish and other organisms to form their shells. Loss of biodiversity. Changes in temperature and precipitation patterns are leading to shifts in the ranges of plants and animals, and increasing the risk of extinction for many species. Food and water security. Changes in precipitation patterns and water availability can affect agriculture, leading to food and water shortages in some regions. Human health. Climate change can lead to the spread of disease through insects and contaminated water, as well as heat stress and respiratory problems in some regions. Economic impacts. Climate change can disrupt many industries, including agriculture, tourism, and fishing, and result in significant economic costs, such as the costs of rebuilding after extreme weather events. In short, the impacts of climate change are far-reaching and will affect many aspects of the natural world and human society. It is important that we take action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of climate change to ensure a sustainable future for all. Preventing climate change requires a comprehensive and global effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and transition to a low-carbon, sustainable energy system. Some of the key steps that can be taken to address this issue include increasing energy efficiency. improving energy efficiency in buildings, transportation, and industry can reduce energy use and greenhouse gas emissions. Expanding renewable energy, increasing the use of renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar power, can reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and reduce emissions. Promoting low-carbon transportation. Encouraging the use of low-carbon transportation options, such as electric vehicles, public transportation, and active transportation, can reduce emissions from transportation. Planting trees and improving land use. Reforestation and improved land use practices can absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and store it in trees and soil. Implementing carbon pricing. Implementing a carbon tax or cap-and-trade system can create a financial incentive for companies to reduce their emissions. Supporting research and development. Supporting research and development of new technologies and innovations that can help reduce emissions and adapt to the impacts of climate change. Raising public awareness. Raising public awareness about the causes and impacts of climate change, and encouraging individuals and communities to take action to reduce their carbon footprint, can help build momentum for large-scale change. It is important to note that addressing climate change will require collective action from governments, businesses, and individuals. The transition to a low-carbon future will require significant investments in clean energy and sustainable infrastructure, but the long-term benefits, including a healthier planet and more resilient communities, will be well worth the effort.